So, climate change, what is it? Why and how is it dangerous? Why it's important we do our part now, and what we can do to do our part. First, let's discuss what climate change actually is. Climate change is the long-term change of our global climate, not just specific places or cities. Global climate is the connected system of things around us, like the ocean, sun, wind, deserts, rain, forests, and even the things we do every day. Global climate is what makes climate change so dangerous and intricate. In fact, climate change, more specifically global warming, may quite possibly be the biggest problem our generation has to face. Right now, we're at a major turning point, and it's our decision whether we want to see the world around us get better or continue to get worse. That being said, what is global warming and what causes it? Global warming is the dangerous increase in our Earth's temperature that we have been experiencing for years now. The general warming of the Earth isn't exactly the problem here. Our Earth's temperature increasing is inevitable and will happen no matter what we do. The problem is the increase is happening too quickly. Over the past 50 years, the global temperature has increased so quickly that it's the quickest increase of our Earth's temperature over its entire history. The reality of all this is that the problem that's not only ruining those around us, but us as well, is caused by us. When greenhouse gases are released into the atmosphere, it traps in heat from the sunlight that goes into the earth. This is called the greenhouse effect. The greenhouse effect alone shouldn't be a problem. In fact, it's what makes this earth a good and comfortable temperature for us to live and thrive in. The problem is that there's too much greenhouse gases being released, causing there to be too much heat to be trapped in our atmosphere. Too much greenhouse gases in our atmosphere can also destroy our ozone layer. Our ozone layer is what protects us from our sun's harmful UV rays. Now, where do greenhouse gases come from and why are we the cause of global warming? The most abundant greenhouse gas is carbon dioxide, which mostly come from fossil fuels. Fossil fuels are things like crude oil and coal that were formed from buried remains of animals and plants who lived hundreds of years ago. Us humans use fossil fuels every day, possibly without even noticing. We use it to power our houses, gas for our vehicles, and energy to produce items we use every day, to name a few. So what are the harmful effects of global warming and why do we need to stop it? Global warming wouldn't only harm us, humans, but also our animals and our overall environment. It can increase our Earth's temperature so much it causes drought and heat waves that can strongly affect the production of food. Ice caps and glaciers to melt so quick, our oceans are constantly rising to the point where countries near the ocean won't only experience super typhoons and floods, but will soon be completely underwater. Forest fires that can burn down thousands of acres of land and a lot more. Global warming doesn't only cause more weather, it can also cause a lot of cold ones. Record-breaking cold snaps are starting to be experienced in parts of the world like the US. The habitats of animals are being destroyed, leaving them with nowhere to go, like polar bears and penguins when the ice and snow where they live and thrive are melting, or the animals of Australia during the Australian bushfires. For humans, the dangerous effects of global warming and how it threatens our lives go beyond natural disasters. Due to extreme temperatures, pollution, and extreme weather, illnesses such as heat stroke, heart disease, respiratory problems, and kidney disease, as well as insect-borne diseases such as malaria, dengue, and Lyme disease can be more common. The World Health Organization says that the climate change is expected to cause over 250,000 additional deaths per year between the years 2030 and 2050. Soon we may see a generation who sees animals like polar bears the same way they see dinosaurs. A generation where the lost city of Atlantis wouldn't be such a crazy idea because we have entire states and countries completely submerged underwater, or diseases we find scary and seldom would be so common. At this point, people don't even think it's fair to have children because who would want to bring a child into a world like this? If we still want to see a healthy world, we have to act now. We're all responsible for this problem, no matter how old we are, so only we can solve it too. So what can we do as students to help solve this problem? Possibly the simplest yet most important thing you can do is do your research. You can't help if you don't know what you're doing or what you're doing it for. Help raise awareness and share ways how others can help. Whether it's just telling your friends and family or sharing through social media. Right now, we're fortunate to live in a generation where practically everyone is on social media. Sharing information is a few taps away. A lot of people now may know what climate change is, but many still don't know how truly detrimental it is. Most of us are fortunate enough to live in places where the effects of climate change barely scratch the surface. Making people aware of what climate change is and can do will urge them to do their part. Use more reusable things such as eco bags and Tupperwares instead of disposable materials. Also, reuse things when you can. Production of disposable materials contribute to global warming not only after being thrown out, but during production as well. Waste less food. It's easier for us to take food for granted because right now it's always available to us. We all waste too much food, and to put this into perspective, the world wastes 1,400 calories worth of food every day. This causes more food to be produced than we actually need and contribute to more carbon emissions through food production. Eat less red meat and dairy products when we can. The production of these things contribute to a lot of greenhouse gas emissions. That being said, it doesn't mean you have to stop eating it completely. Finally, understand that everything you do helps this problem, even the little things. A lot of us think that because we're only one person, it doesn't matter how many changes we make to our own lifestyle, it isn't enough to solve the whole problem. So we decide to just ignore it. The goal isn't to solve the problem by ourselves. It's to do our part and encourage others to do theirs. So don't be discouraged and stop, because no person is too young and no action is too small to help solve this problem.